Hello and welcome to the Eurowhat, episode 270, dropping on May 20th, 2025. We are a pair of Americans trying to make sense of the Eurovision Song Contest. I'm Mike McComb, and I'm here with my co-host, Ben Smith. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Mike.
In this episode, we'll be talking about Austria's Wasted Love, the winner of the Eurovision 2025 Grand Final. We are recording this less than an hour after the show wrapped. Oh my goodness.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm thinking about last year and how stressful the 36 hours leading up to the contest was. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the last 5 minutes of this year's contest might rival that for me.
Yeah, like it's just like, oh, good. It's in concentrated form now. Fantastic. Just add water and...
Yeah, there was a moment in my Eurovision party, like everybody, like we had like a good mixture of people where this was not their first rodeo and people where it was their first rodeo, and everybody was helping one another out with sort of understanding the rules. And I'm kind of glad of that because like everybody else was like very focused on like the final part of the scores, and I was just mentally, internally just freaking out.
High-level overview of how the scores went down. Austria won the jury and received 12s from 8 of the juries. Italy received 6 12s. France received 5. Overall, 13 countries received 12s over the course of the jury portion of the scoring. So it was very spread out, which, like, I think is a great thing. Like,
yes.
It's just like, oh, you mean it's an actual contest where anybody could win? That is fantastic. The only team probably not experiencing that view was Iceland, which did not receive any points from the jury, unfortunately. Then it got into the televote portion, which is always exciting. It gets your heart racing no matter what happens.
For some definition of heart racing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the UK received 0 points, but they did have a pretty good bit of jury love and finished in 19th with 88 points. I think the biggest shock of the evening may have been Switzerland, which scored second with the jury at 214 points. And it was just like, oh, they might actually pull the double. Televote said, nope, not happening. They also received 0 points. And I was not expecting that at all.
That blew my mind. That was towards the end of the count. I had my calculator out on my phone. I was doing the math and I was going, oh man, we had at that point 178 points in play. Austria needs at least 100 of these. How many points is Switzerland going to get?
Well, easy calculation for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was very easy. Very like that was like the moment I went from just sort of sending you an unadulterated stream of the grimace emoji on our Slack to Austria's won.
Israel won the televote and received 297 points. Estonia was a televote contender, as we had expected. So they got 258 points and were just 1 point behind Israel's combined total. Sweden, which was the expected winner of this year's contest, received 195 points. Austria, we've already covered. And then Albania, yay, Albania. They got 173 points. So good on them. And I believe they finished 8th overall.
Yes.
So they finished 8th. Switzerland finished in 10th overall. Yeah, and we did a vote at our party. Malta ended up winning our vote, getting 12 points there, followed by Finland, France, and Poland. A lot of anger in the room for the lack of love for Malta and Poland, both from the jury and, well, Poland did okay in the televote, but absolute outrage that Malta only got 8 points.
That felt low to me, but also like when I saw that point, like, yeah, they kind of overcooked the souffle a bit.
I was really disappointed that Denmark only got 2 points in the televote. Yes. I kind of understand why, just because it does feel like very 90s and maybe a little dated, but that was such a good performance. Like, yeah, I'm very proud of her.
Yeah, like the vibe I had been getting from Blue Sky this week, though, is that like it may not have done well with the televote, but it's going to be a banger in the Euro Club for years.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was kind of the takeaway from Malta as well, where it was just be like, oh, yeah, that's going to be playing in every bar for at least the next 18 months. So
no, just like congrats to Cecil and Mariana. You guys have like a standing mid-May gig for like at least the next 5 years.
Yep. Well, and even going into June, it was just like, oh, yeah, like Chicago Pride Fest is always looking for acts. It can't always be Crystal Waters. So. And then Austria, of course, won. This is their third win. Their last win was back in 2014 with Conchita Wurst. So we will be heading back to Austria next year. What did you think of the overall show?
I liked this show a lot. The grand final had a lot going for it. The way that they have sort of rejiggered, the way that they do the running order. Christer Bjorkman has talked about sort of the sawtooth of different moods, different vibes, and there were some very lovely transitions. One of the people at my party pointed out that, like, yes, we did have all of the Italian entries sort of evenly spaced out from one another. So
Yep.
just like as far apart as one another as they could be. But like they did sneak in, they did put the two entries that had boats back to back.
Had Switzerland not drawn 19th, I would have loved to have seen that placed next to them as well, because her postcard was, I'm on a boat. So it's that would have just been like the chef's kiss touch. But I was taking paper and pencil notes throughout my party because that's what I'm like at parties.
Yeah,
and
I am also fun. I did not take notes. We don't get Johnny Weir anymore on Peacock, and I was having us watch the Sweden stream because I wanted the full uncut Eurovision experience for people. And Peacock has been cutting to ad breaks, so like I was sort of trying to fill in for here's what the Swedish commentators like talking about, some of the high points of each of the acts, making sure people got the deep lore from all season.
Oh, that's good. We stuck with the Peacock feed mainly because a few of the guests at our party wanted to have the closed captioning available. And I am ready to write a very strongly worded letter to Peacock because their captioning is atrocious and unusable.
Mm-hmm.
I was angry at the end of the broadcast because, like, even with the English language entries, it would just be like a sad music note and then singing in a global language. Some of these songs have been available since November. The lyrics have been available. Do better. Like, this is just so completely unacceptable. Although one of the highlights of the party was during the winner's reprise, one of our guests had his phone transcription app out because Peacock was not providing any sort of assistance with that. And when it got to the like really high notes of Wasted Love, the transcription read, let me make sure that I get this right, quote, bird noises. So... So at least like we could have a sense of humor about that piece of it, but I'm still rather livid about this presentation.
Again, I was watching the Sweden stream. I had sort of offhandedly mentioned to my guests that, yeah, no, like the Peacock feed also just like global singing, which like, yes, but no, you have the lyrics to these things.
The ad breaks, I think, were fine. Like I watched the dress rehearsals on Friday and just, not really sure all that much was missed. We still got a Lumo jump scare when we got to see clips from the from the turquoise carpet event.
I think there was at some point, like when he popped up on screen. What is that?
Yeah,
just like, oh yeah, no, that's the mascot. Like he looked much better as a drawing.
Was it my husband or like somebody else? It was just like, oh, I'd heard about this person, but I never actually looked it up. Yes, I just referred to Lumo as a person. They have voting rights in Switzerland. So
we love direct democracy.
Absolutely.
Direct democracy means Lumo.
That was the other thing with the press feed on Friday. The first half hour was just not available.
Yeah, it was just like nobody turned on the stream for us.
I don't know if that was intentional. If it was, kind of good news for that, because I thought that opening trophy skit where they're like like making jokes about just how fragile and really kind of poorly designed the Eurovision trophy is, that was a really good piece of business.
Chef's kiss. I was explaining to the room. No, it's very top heavy. It's broken multiple times. It's kind of it's a whole deal. I was concerned during the reprise performance this year.
Yep. There was at one point, I think it was like during the second chorus, like JJ lifted up the trophy and it looked like he was about to smash it into the table. And two people in my party, I may have been one of them, but somebody else in the party just went like, oh no.
just like broadcasters, if there's one part of the broadcast that you want to really make your own, what if we structurally modified the trophy? I understand the significance of a microphone, but what if it was a microphone sort of with like the laser etching into a sort of mid 1990s like tech conference tchotchke like it used to be? If we're looking for heritage Eurovision traditions to bring back, what if it was just sort of a beautiful glass bowl?
Yes, like very Mastermind, very Great British Bake Off, like that would be perfect. Although I thought that the deep cut of, oh, what if we wrap my water bottle in aluminum foil is just like, oh, that's a reference to Ireland 93, was it? It's like, oh, true heads will know.
That was a deep cut for us weirdos who
Yes.
know too much of all of this.
Yes.
And we appreciate it. Thank
Yeah.
you for keeping that joke for like 5 people tops.
I was not a big fan of Hazel through the semifinals, but yeah, towards the end there, like she really won me over. Like she really built into it. But yeah, like I think like just thinking of the hosting, I would really like it if they would stop airdropping a third host or fourth host into the proceedings.
It's cool that there was like another person here, but like I liked the 2 that we had. I didn't think that we needed a third.
It just seemed like Michelle never really fully warmed up to what was going on. And yeah, I did get a text message just be like, who is this blonde cyborg? And it's like, oh no.
I don't know the behind the scenes of how close of besties Sandra and Hazel are going to be at the end of all this, but there was rapport there. And with this show, it's just like, okay, cool. Sandra and Hazel are here. We've seen them all week. We know them. We love them to varying degrees. And also Michelle is here now. What's her deal?
Yeah. And then I think she was arguably the biggest name of the 3 going in. And then she's relegated to the green room for most of the show.
Yeah, because like by the time we get to the points, we're back to Sandra and Hazel.
Yeah. So it was just kind of a, I don't know, not fully conceived plan, I think. Commit to your host. And if they're not able to commit to the full week, then you don't hire them.
There's nothing about the way they structure this week's shows where it's like, yeah, we need a third host. It was especially confusing because in addition to Michelle this time around, we also threw over to the Arena Plus a couple times where it's like, hello, here's these 2 people that you've never seen before and you're never going to see again.
Right. At a completely external event.
Yeah, and like when they cut over to there to like sing Waterloo for a bit, it's like, oh yeah, no, they have to set up the cork for France. This is great. Because I'm an insider, I'm like explaining to my party, the reason that we're watching them all do a sing-along right now
Yeah.
is because for France, they have to roll out a carpet. You'll understand why in like 2 minutes.
The interval acts, I thought, was a really fun combination of things. They brought some configuration of Peter, Sue, and Mark, who represented Switzerland 4 times. It was Peter, Nina, Mark, and Bruno. I think Nina and Bruno are kids of Peter and Mark or some. I'm not really sure what the full relationship is there.
It was sort of one of those situations of like when you go to see a Motown act now, and like some of them are the original members and some of them have legal rights to the name.
Exactly. Yes. Or it's just like, oh, it's their grandson who knows the choreography, so that's what matters. But
Yep.
yeah. Then there was Luca Hani from 2019 and John's Tears from Thursday. With his song that he won the jury with in 2021. So, full circle moment from the COVID year. It was fine. It
was fine, but also, guys, like, call like 3 of the people from 2020 who were not there in 2021.
A couple of people at my party were also making the same comments I did. It's like, oh, did he kill a guy in prison? Like, what is with the tear on his face?
I keep thinking about the joke the host made on Tuesday about recycling and like, okay, we've got all these people from the previous acts. We've shown a bunch of video montages. We've sung a lot of songs. Yeah, like I feel like yesterday I saw a few people posting, no, they've seen Celine's private jet in Switzerland. Like, guys, we saw the video. There's no.
Yeah, like that would be such a weird thing for them to do, to be like, oh, she's not going to be here. Oh, JK. And it's like, neat.
Honestly, on Tuesday, as soon as they played the video and then had these 4 entrants from last year performing the song, I'm like, oh, that's why they were the late announcement. That's when Celine said no. It's absolutely just sort of this is the cutoff date of how is Celine feeling. The Baby Lasagna Caria thing, that was great, and also meant that we immediately needed to play both of their performances after the show had ended for the room.
Yeah, that was just such a lovely concept of a video game, choose your fighter. And Eurodab sounds like a fun track.
Eurodab's very fun.
And I'm kind of glad that they're working together. I don't recall if they had a previous working relationship or if Eurovision brought them together, because I think that they are 2 tastes that go great together. So
yes, yeah, no, that was my takeaway from that interval. It's like, oh, I hadn't thought about how these work together, but they do. I think they have both joked about it. I don't know if it was just, hi, work wants us to work together, let's do this, or it was something that had been in the works already, and it was just sort of wonderful timing, but just like that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Nemo, who opened the show with a reprise of The Code, kind of dressed as like Marie Antoinette, did a performance of their new single, Unexplainable. What did you think of this single?
I thought the performance was very interesting. while this was happening, having a lot of chatter about what did everybody like. I was keeping one eye on the intervals and one ear in the room. It felt very much like an interval and like a very specific performance that I liked.
I've liked the other singles that Nemo has dropped since winning the contest. I thought Eurostar was a lot of fun. Casanova's really
Casanova,
good.
yeah, Casanova was the one that I think most people were expecting them to perform.
Yeah. So like this one, I came around on the performance. Like I thought it felt a little much to start, but then I thought it finished strong.
With Nemo, one thing I was noticing in the very tense 5 minutes at the end of the show is just like the look on their face when things got announced. They seemed relieved. Just like given everything they had said leading up to this, I was very concerned about what was going to... I mean, I was just very concerned about what was going to happen. I'm very interested to see what the EBU does in the next few months on some level.
It does kind of feel like the EBU is painted into a corner, and I don't know if they necessarily have a plan for what's going to happen. There are a number of broadcasters, like as we've mentioned in previous episodes, that are concerned about Israel's participation in the contest, and as Israel has demonstrated, they are very good at Eurovision. There are people more conspiracy-minded just being like, oh, this is from all the advertising stuff. That was also a really good song. And frankly, I think it was underscored by the jury. I was expecting it to be much, much higher.
It's something the EBU needs to deal with because this is the second year in a row that they have had a winning televote for Israel. And they know it's a very contentious issue with the broadcasters, with the fandom, with a lot of things. And like, this is the second year in a row that they have dodged a bullet.
We are talking about the existence of the contest, because if these countries walk, are they going to be able to run the contest with like 28 countries? Probably. It's certainly not going to be at the level that they've been running it the last 15 years, but I don't know. Maybe that is a change that needs to be considered as well. This is opening up a lot of questions, which I think is going to make the show interesting for us. Like, we're
Yes.
not going to be bored, but
yeah, I think this is something they've needed to consider the last couple years. Again, Israel is very good at this in the same way that Ukraine is very good at this. And the way that they have handled those two situations has been markedly different.
We will see what happens, and there's a good chance that nothing is actually going to change. I think EBU is just like, hey, if we can weather this storm the way that JJ weathered the storm in the stage performance, then it's all going to work out in the end. Just blind optimism.
Yeah, we had camera-free zones in the artist area. That fixed everything. As I watched a video this morning from Kai, where they're like, we're being bad boys. We're in a room that has blue carpet.
Is that how they're marking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
it's just, yeah, I mean, if you're in like the back area of a big area, like a stadium, and you have a lot of art, like, it's a good way to do it. It's like, oh, the carpet's blue. Camera's off.
A lot of stuff to look forward to for the 2026 contest. So we are expecting Austria to accept the responsibility of hosting. No word yet on what cities are up for consideration. Vienna hosted last time. I have a feeling Vienna is going to be in the conversation again this year.
Agreed.
We know that Finland is at least interested in Eurovision. They've confirmed that UMK will be happening on February 28th.
Ooh, that's later in February than it's been the last couple years.
Yeah, still waiting to hear about what other countries are looking to join. I mean, it's only been an hour and a half.
It has not even been an hour. It is 1, 2 in the morning in Europe. They're not working on that now.
In terms of our show, we have some holiday stuff here in the US and then some travel stuff that's coming up. So we are going into off-season mode a little bit early. That means our next episode will be 2 weeks from when this one drops, with future episodes dropping every other week for the rest of the calendar year. We will also still be over on our Patreon. If you sign up on the free tier of the Patreon, you can get our monthly newsletter of what topics are coming up on the main show and what we'll be talking about on the Patreon bonus podcast. I have not had the opportunity yet to watch the Doctor Who episode of the Interstellar Song Contest. That will be our topic for next month's episode.
I watched it this morning, and that's going to be an interesting chat.
Okay, yes. Ben is more of a Whovian than I am.
It's like for reasons. Yes,
excellent.
No, there's both just with regards to the contest and with regards to general Doctor Who stuff.
Okay, excellent. I cannot wait. You will be teaching me so many timey-wimey things in that conversation, I feel. So
that has been my main question, is like, where do I need to start with Mike on this?
If you are a financial contributor to our Patreon, you will have access to that bonus episode, all of our previous bonus episodes, and future bonus episodes as well. We've got a really fun slate, which includes at least one of the jury spokespeople from this year's contest. I am so excited about that episode.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Yeah, no, we've got some fun stuff planned for the summer on the Patreon, so please visit us over there.
Any final thoughts about the final?
Just like, I don't even smoke and I need a cigarette.
All right, well, that is going to do it for this episode of the Eurowhat. Thank you for listening. The Eurowhat podcast is hosted by Mike McComb, that is me, and Ben Smith.
That is me. You can find our full archive of episodes on our website at Eurowhat.com. If you'd like even more episodes, join our Patreon. You can get to the Patreon through our website or by going to patreon.com/Eurowhat.
Next time on the Eurowhat, we'll do the data deep dive on the full Eurovision 2025 results.